Today we're going to be talking about characteristic of autism spectrum disorder, ASD. And as we all know, ASD is a neurodevelopmental disorder that impacts 1 in 54 individuals. That is the newest information that we have from CDC. And first of all, I would like to go over the cognitive characteristics of autism. So how this look is that the students will have difficulty applying new knowledge to a different situation, difficulty taking new situations and using them in a different setting. Also, we're going to see that our students might have deficits in executive function, and that is organization, planning, and attention. Next, we have the neurological characteristics. Many of the individuals that have autism spectrum disorder, they're gonna have seizures and motor coordination. Some students will have delay in gross and fine motor, deficits in coordination and gait. Many individuals with autism will also have sleep disorders, insomnia, trouble sleeping. Next, we have behavioral characteristics, and this is one of the most common characteristics that our students are going to have. This includes restrictive, repetitive patterns of behaviors, and our students will have interest in certain objects, items, topics, or activities. The repetitive patterns of behaviors can be flapping hands, difficulty handling changes in routine, highly focused interest, and self-injurious behaviors. Next, we have sensory characteristics. A typical response to sensory stimulus. That could be either hyper or hyposensitivity to sensory inputs, and some items that can cause hypo or hypersensitivity can be clothing, food texture, noises, lights, touch, and pain. Communication and language characteristics is that students will have difficulties in receptive and expressive language, and that is that they have trouble understanding what other people are trying to communicate to them. And expressive language is that they have trouble expressing their needs and telling other people what they want or their thoughts. Nonverbal, some students are going to be nonverbal, and that's like different for every student. Some students will not be able to use any speech, while others will at some level use some speech. Echolalia is a characteristic of ASD, and that's when the individual is going to be repeating things that they've heard from movies or from previous conversations. Idiosyncratic speech is when they're using speech but that it doesn't make sense. People who don't know them will have trouble understanding what they're trying to say. Social characteristics in individuals with autism, that is difficulty demonstrating appropriate play skills. That's our students with autism, they have trouble playing with their peers, and sometimes they ignore or reject social approaches because they tend to play by themselves, and if other students try to play with them, they'll ignore them or reject any social approach. Difficulty using and interpreting body language. So some students with autism, they're gonna have trouble having eye contact when they're talking to other people. They're gonna have trouble reading facial expressions and other body types of body language. Those are the most common characteristics that identifies autism spectrum disorder.